Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down.
I am here with Sianni Martin. Sianni, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So for those that don't know, what time is it right now where you're at?
It is 6:23 p.m.
It's about 1 o'clock here. So for those who don't know, where are you playing right now?
Right now I'm in Portugal.
Portugal.
Barcelos, Portugal is what it's called. Some people get it confused with like Barcelona, Spain, but it's totally different. It's totally different. It's like a small city, in Portugal, but it's surrounded by a lot of big cities. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
And how are you liking it out there? I'm sure a lot of things are different than Orlando or Philly, where you're from.
It is. It's a lot different. Like it was like a culture shock change. I mean, as expected, like you're in a foreign country, but it's crazy to see and to learn how different things are like in Europe as opposed to America. Like it's totally different in a good way though. In a good way, it's just different. But I'm liking it. I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to learn the language. Their language is extremely hard. Like people told me it was like Spanish, but it's really not. Like it's a lot harder than Spanish. Like to me, like some words they say it sounds Russian. I'm like, okay, I'm trying my hardest, but I've been picking up on like a lot of words and stuff, and I have to get familiar with a lot of words because of playing on the court with some of my teammates who don't speak any English at all. So that's been hard too, but I'm adjusting pretty well.
One of the biggest things that I've noticed, you're always posting about the food and you get so excited when you see anything American. So what's the food like over there?
But their food is very like cultural. It's their culture. Like, so it's like, we in America, we might eat Chinese food, or we might eat Spanish food or Haitian food, or we like, but we'll never like say, oh, I'm about to go get some Portuguese food. So it's like it's very different, like their seasonings and things that they put together as combinations, like it's very different. At first, like when I first got here, I was like, I'm going to lose 97 pounds. Like I was just like, I mean, I am losing weight. I mean, I'm losing weight because of basketball too, but I'm also losing weight because I don't eat like as much as I do, when I'm in America. But I mean, it goes to show that that's why in America, like we have problems like heart disease and stuff like that, because we don't eat, like they eat very clean. They eat very clean and their portions are a lot smaller. So I'm starting to learn, the differences with the food in America. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad. But when I find stuff that's like the closest thing to American food, I am ecstatic. I'm so happy. So.
And speaking of closest things, I've always said you are pretty much living like Monica from Love and Basketball. You're living your basketball dreams. But for a lot of people that don't know, a lot of women play basketball and they kind of just do it as, a way to pass time in college. But for you, this has been a dream. So what does that feel like just to play professional basketball right now and just fulfill that dream?
Sometimes it's still surreal to me. Like it's still like sometimes like I'll wake up and I'll go on the balcony or I'll go on a walk and I'm just like, dang, like I'm really like in a foreign country, like playing the game I love. Like since a little girl, like we've had this conversation before, like I've always wanted to play professional basketball, whether it was overseas, whether it was a WNBA. So like I still feel like it's my first day here, like every day that I wake up. But I'm just so blessed and fortunate to be here, especially with COVID right now. Like, a lot of people like, didn't get that opportunity even, with COVID. So it's just very surreal to me every day. I'm just blessed that that I have a support system and, that I came from a lot of coaches and great mentors who got me to this point mentally and physically as a player. So it's just been all too real for me. But I'm enjoying the experience. I can't wait to see, what it brings. But like I said, since a little girl, this is what I've been wanting to do. So, I'm just happy that I'm able to wake up every day and do it. So I'm excited to see what the future holds.
And then you talked about just the coaches that you played under, let's just take me back to Towson. When you first started, and remember coming in as a freshman, you finished that season with 309 points and 73 rebounds. So just run me through that freshman season, what you remember playing at Towson.
I remember choosing Towson because I had a lot of offers. I had a lot of looks, and people were like, why did you choose Towson? Because it was not a low D1, but lower than, the schools you would rank as, top. Like, and, I wanted to go to a school where I was able to make a change, like make a difference and play right away. Like my biggest fear was coming into college and not being able to play the game, that I love. So, going into Towson, like I do now, I just had a chip on my shoulder. Like I didn't want to fall into the category of, oh, she's just a freshman, she'll play next year, or she has seniors in front of her, so she has to wait. Like I didn't want to fall into that, so I came in every day and I worked. I was a freshman, but I worked like I was a senior. Like I worked like I was a junior. Like I worked like I've been there already. Like my coaches always told me that. Like my work and my mindset, it just spoke for itself. So that was it. Like I just went in with a chip on my shoulder, and I didn't think about it like being nervous or thinking about it like, it's okay to make mistakes. Like I was on myself hard every day after games, like sometimes too hard. But it was just like, I'm going to go in and everybody laces up their shoes the same way I lace up my shoes. So, I just went in there and just worked extremely hard to earn my spot and to keep my spot. So, and then, my coaches, seeing how hard I worked and stuff. So, I was able to gain that starting spot, with a bunch of other seniors on the court. So I felt good. Like I felt good about that. But, like I just went out there, played hard, played my best every night. And it ended up being, a really good season.
And then transitioning to that sophomore season, you've kind of learned early on what it means to be a leader. Everybody that knows you knows you're very vocal, but you're also very serious when it comes to the game. So that sophomore season, did you kind of feel your coaches were pushing you a little bit more into, grooming your game a little bit?
They definitely were. They definitely were trying to, because it took some time for me to become a good leader. Not a good leader, because I always led by example. I wasn't always as vocal as I am today. Like I always led by example. I always showed people how to work. I always showed people how to do drills correctly. I never was the person at first to like, yo, like this is how you got to do stuff. Like I never was that person. Like I was the person to pull people to the side after practice and talk to them about what they could get better at and stuff like that. But my coaches, my sophomore year, like they really challenged me to get on people, like, and I'm like, I'm just a sophomore. Like I'm just a sophomore. Like they're not gonna listen to me. Like they're not gonna listen to me. Like I'm young. Like I'm 19? Like I'm like, they're not gonna listen to me. I'm talking about like 22, 23-year-olds. I'm like, they're not gonna, listen to what I gotta say. And like they made it known to me that they will listen to you because of the work you put in and the work you show every time you step on the court. Like they'll listen to you and they'll follow your lead. Like so, but as they follow my lead, I also have to talk to them, but not talk at them, like just talk to them, in a respectful way. Like, so I had to learn how to do that. It wasn't easy at first. I was very nervous doing it. But I came into my own type of leader, and it was really good, but they were definitely on me about it. They were definitely on me because, the stats always, had me at the top of the list for everything, but they were like, okay, like, so now you got to talk to your teammates about everything that you're doing on the court and how they can get better, because you can't just, I was never a selfish player, never just worried about myself anyway, but they were like, like you gotta pull people, on your bandwagon and stuff. So it was definitely a learning experience. So.
And then one of the most vocal people that you and I both know is Coach Abe. She's really big on talking and leadership. So was that one of the reasons that you kind of were attracted to UCF when you first came?
I was attracted to UCF because mainly because of the family atmosphere. Mainly because I seen how the players developed on and off the court. That's what really attracted me to UCF. Like, I didn't know that coming into UCF that I was going to end up being the type of leader that I left. Like, when I came in and when I left, I was two totally different types of leaders. like, so I didn't see that at first. I only seen, kind of the mental, the emotional, the physical that the coaches could help you, morph you into, that type of player. But when I got there, I definitely learned really fast what Coach Abe wanted, how she wanted, to run her program. She wanted the juniors, the seniors, even sophomores. She wanted everybody to be vocal, like everybody. It's not just like, oh, this is our leader, this is our leader. Like, we had leaders that were like the top, like these are our leaders, but she wanted everybody to be there and be that leader. Like, so, yeah.
Definitely. And then, of course, your junior season was a little bit more of a quieter season, but you really pushed yourself in that senior season, and you finished with 15 double-digit games. And then, of course, you reached your 1,000 point mark. I actually remember that game. I remember clipping that. But just tell me about that senior season and what you remember just playing at UCF, and, of course, your game developing in that senior season.
My senior season, it was definitely a ride. I was so sad that it got cut short. But the games and the practices, like, I still think about them, like, just being overseas, like, and I carry a lot of lessons that I learned, throughout that season with me now, and try to, put it on to, my teammates here, in Portugal. But my senior season was nothing short of amazing. Obviously that year before, like you said, it was a quieter season, but, we were going into my senior season. I knew I had to step up in a major way, because I had big shoes to fill, as far as, getting back to that top level, being second in the conference or first in the conference, again, and stuff. So it was just about being a better leader, playing my role as a scorer, my role as a transition monster, as Coach Abe would say, a role as a good defender, and things like that. Coach Abe always pushed us to play great defense and things like that. And I had to step up my senior year and really, really play good defense. Like, all the coaches knew that I could score. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that I could score. But for me, it was on the defensive end that I was really proud of myself for really stepping up and showing that I was a very capable defender. But my senior season was great. KK, it was a great season with KK, Maz, Diamond, everybody. It was just a great season. And I miss my teammates so much, like, because we created so many memories on and off the court, that I'll cherish forever. But yeah, like, when we won games, it was the greatest feeling in the world. When we lost games, it was the worst feeling in the world. We were scared about practice, but I mean, that's how it should be. But it was just like, we knew, like, we had to win. Like, it doesn't matter who we're playing. It does not matter. We had to win. And we went out there. I know that every game that I stepped out on that floor my senior year, I gave it everything I had. So, that's the best thing that I can always carry. Like, I know, I did my best my whole senior year. So.
And like you were saying, you guys have approached every game that you played, especially in the AAC. It was not our strongest conference, but you guys had to play UConn, which, praise God, they're finally leaving, so we have a shot of being first in conference. But, I mean, playing UConn, you guys approached them like they were just any other team. So just run me back through playing UConn. And, of course, you guys had some of your best games against UConn, even though they were losses. Still, you guys did what you could with what you had against UConn.
Coach Abe and all the coaches, every single coach, they instilled so much confidence in us before we played UConn. Like, before we played any game, but when we played UConn, it was through the roof, like, how much confidence they put in us. Like, so it's like, because as a college team, as any type of player, if your coaches don't believe in you, it's hard for you to believe in yourself. So, but our coaches always believed in us. Like, it does not matter if they were number 1 in the country, number 3. Doesn't matter what their schedule looked like. Our coaches was like, yo, y'all can win this game if y'all go out there and do what y'all supposed to do. So in our mind, we like, yeah, like, we can. Like, we already knew, but just to give us that extra push that, like, from our coaches, like, it really just fueled us. Like, And then, like, when we were out there, we felt like we belonged. Like, we didn't feel like, we were not as superior as, Baylor or Tennessee. Like, we felt like we belonged. Like, we weren't backing down to nobody. And that's why I love all the teams that I was a part of at UCF for those 3 years. Like, we never backed down to anybody. Like, it doesn't matter who it was. Because we played a lot of top teams, in my 3 years. But we just never backed down. We went into all of those games like, we gonna win. We gonna win. Like, and that's how we played. Like, the first one, we lost by 7. The second one, we might have lost by, like, 14, or it was the opposite. Like, one we lost by 14, one we lost by 7, something like that. But we were in the game the whole time, like, literally the whole time. And we seen that, like, we're capable. Like, if we didn't make small mistakes, because against a team like that, you got to be almost perfect. So, if we didn't make some small mistakes, we just knew we were right there. So, it was all about our confidence, all about our mentality as a team. So
Definitely. I mean, you guys had a lot of confidence because you beat Villanova, which was a really good team at the time too. So, I mean, how did that confidence translate to, you playing overseas? Because, you were very close with the coaches on and off the court. So just what was the transition like, just keeping that communication open with them, and when you finally got the news to be playing overseas?
Well, it's just like, it's always something that I've carried with myself with with basketball. Like, I've always thought, like, if in my mind, nobody can stop me. So I carry that, and nobody can stop me, nobody can stop my team. So I carry all the lessons I learned throughout college, before college, whatever, high school. But from UCF, it's just like, I want the type of confidence that my coaches and my teammates instilled in me, I just want to instill that into every team I play, from every team I play with, every country I play with from now on. Like, I want them to feel like, what I felt, because, some of them, like, they may have never felt that before, and actually I can tell, like, sometimes, like, when, we play like some top teams in Portugal already. And it was like, we were in the game. And then as soon as we start getting down, it was like, they kind of just like, oh, dang, we almost had it, kind of. And I'm like, no, like, like, we still in it. We still got it. So it's just, I'm trying to instill that in my teammates, as we speak, like, as the games go on. And actually, I definitely see a change. And that's because, with how I choose to lead, the team, like, we get down, somebody misses a shot, somebody airballs a shot. I'm like, yo, like, you got it. Like, shoot it again. I'm going to pass it to you again. Like, because that's what my teammates did to me. And it made me feel like, okay, like, I'm good. Like, I can shoot it again. Like, I don't ever want, my team to think like, oh, I'm not going to pass them the ball again. Or if we down, like, just let it go. Well, we got another game. Like, I want them to take every game like it's our last game. Because that's how I play that's how I play mentally. So I try to pass that on to them. Pass on all the lessons that I learned, at UCF, and just, hope that makes us better as a team. And so far, I think I've been doing a good job of it, because every game, it just seems like my team gets more confident. So, yeah.
And then, of course, you're talking about, defense is one of the things Coach Abe has always harped on, but she's always been really big on, playing in the post and being really physical with your game. So one of the biggest things everyone always says about Europe is that it's a lot more physical. They're not just, it's not tick for tack fouls, they're fouling. So what has the physicality been like that you've been playing in Europe?
What everybody says is right. It's 100% right. Like, I wish I could show you. Like, I have bruises like I didn't even know I could bruise like this. Like, it's just a whole different level of physicality. Like, it's not so much like dirty, I would say. It's just how they play. Like, in America, we're just kind of like, every little thing is kind of a foul. You can't do certain stuff, you can't do. Here, it's just like, Like you can hand check, you could put two hands on, like you can do anything. When I'm going to the basket, they can like touch me. Like they're allowed to touch you, stuff like that. It's just the physicality is so different. So it's just like now I gotta train my mind to, like, when I'm going to the basket, like, don't think I'm going to get a foul call. Like, go in there as hard as I possibly can, trying to get an and one, because if you think you're going to get the foul call, 9 times out of 10, probably not. So that's what I kind of been training my brain to do. Like, you know, the big adjustment I had to make, because the first like 2 games, I'm like, are the refs just bad this game? Like, I just didn't understand like what was going on. But then, you know, I actually know a lot of WNBA players, and I know a lot of guys that have actually played overseas too. And like, I'm calling them, I'm like, yo, like, when you played, like, was it? And they're like, yeah, like, don't expect no foul calls. They like, just go in there, just go hard, and just try to get the 2 points, try to get the 3 points. They said, oh, did it go out?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're good though.
I thought it went. They were like, you know, don't expect it. Just go in there, just play hard. So it's definitely different. It's definitely a big adjustment, but I think I'm doing, you know, pretty well with it. But I do miss being in the weight room. Because I think that if I was in the weight room as consistent as, you know, we were at UCF with Joe, I think that it would be a lot easier to adapt to. But it's like, you know, it's like now, like, I can lift, but it's like, it's not the same. Like, it's not the same, like, lifting program. Like, you know, so I got to do a lot of stuff on my own, a lot of push-ups, a lot of core stuff, you know, so I'm prepared for that when it's game time. So.
And even though it's a lot of physicality, your most recent game, you just had 34 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that last game, and just like you're saying, you're confident in yourself, but what has it been like just developing your game overseas and putting up these types of numbers?
I just think that it's all about my mindset. My mindset is what separates me from a lot of players. You know, like, I just think, like, now, like, okay, like, now you're a pro. So now you got to play like a pro. You got to think like a pro. Like, you know, so I play my same game. Like, I play my same game, but I'm just trying to still develop a higher IQ when it comes to different things. Like, you know, I don't get down if I miss a couple shots, because, you know, it's a long game. It's a long physical game. So it's like I've actually been getting to the free throw line a lot. So free throw line, you know, that's 3 points. I'm shooting like 93% from the free throw line. Like, I haven't missed that many free throws. So it's like, you know, it's really just about the mindset. Like, I've just been out here just taking advantage. Just taking advantage of this opportunity. Like, you know, because now it's not, oh, you know, you get in trouble, you don't play. Like, it's like, now this is your job. Like, this is your job. So I approach it like a real job. Like, you know, it's still a business. It's still a business. So I go out there and I just play. Like, I just play. Like, I don't think too much. That's why I love basketball so much, because it's just so fluent for me. Like, it's not a mental thing. Like, it's still a mental game, but it's like, I just go out there and I just play. So it's just like, you know, when I can, you know, I get in the gym, you know, aside from coach, but, you know, I get in the gym, get extra shots and stuff. Like, if lately my 3-pointer hasn't been falling. So I've been shooting a lot of mid-range. Like, that game that I just had 34, I only made 1 3. Like, the rest were all mid-range. So, like, I know that, you know, in the games, you know, to come, like, I gotta work, like, you know, get back in the gym and make my 3 more consistent. But it's just about adjusting. It's just about adjusting to, you know, what your game is like. So it's like, if I'm not hitting threes, I'm going to shoot a lot of twos. I'm going to shoot a lot of pull-ups. I'm going to get to the free throw line. If my threes are falling, I'm going to shoot my threes. And that's, you know, that's good if my threes is falling. But it's just, you know, it's just about, you know, I just keep developing. I learn each game what I can do better, what I did well at. You know, my coaches always send me the stat sheets. I always look at how many turnovers I had, the plus minus. Like, I always look at that type of stuff. I look at my rebounds a lot because I'm trying to like be a big guard like out here. So I'm trying to be a big guard. So I try to look at my rebounds a lot. I'm averaging like 5-6 rebounds right now. So that's what highlighted for me, because I be feeling like I'm bigger than what I am. And I'm really not. But you know, in my mind, I am. Like in my mind, I am. So you know, I just keep trying to improve every game. And watching film and looking at the stats and stuff like that, like I can honestly say that I've adjusted every game to however the previous game was. So,
And like you're saying, I mean, in college, you're known for your threes.
yeah.
So coming into Europe, it's just different that you're playing mid-range. But what have your coaches and trainers really been emphasizing to, you know, get you to be a big guard?
They've been emphasizing to keep going as far as the whole leadership thing, because they see that the players actually listen to me. Again, I was like kind of like, you know, like they don't all speak English. So I'm like, I don't know if they even understand what I'm saying, but I've found ways to make them understand, you know, what we need, you know, what we shouldn't do and stuff like that. So they keep on me too. Like they tell me like, even if you got to talk in English, like they'll figure it out, or I'll tell them like, just keep, you know, like my head coach, his English isn't that good, but he's trying. Like I understand him now, like he's really trying. So, but that's the basis of what he's saying. As far as, you know, me as a player, but he's very like, you know, be vocal, you know, talk to your teammates, help your teammates out, and stuff like that. And that's what I do. Like he's never like, sometimes he's like, Sianni, like you were right at the basket. Why didn't you shoot it? And that's just because I'm just I want my teammates to trust me. Like I want my teammates to know, like, you know, like, cause typically Americans come over to Europe and they steal the show. That's just typical. Like Americans come over and, you know, like a lot of people say, like I've heard Europeans say that like Americans are like ball hogs and stuff. I've never been that way, period, because I hate when people do that to me. So, but it's just like, I just want them to be able like to trust me and to, like, to really have confidence, you know, like, so sometimes, you know, I am right at the basket, but I'll pass it to them in the corner for a three. And if they'll miss, I'll be like, yo, I'm going to pass it to you again. And then I'll pass it to them again and they'll make it. So it's just like the coaches like when I do things like that, like, you know, as far as my game, they just be like, you know, keep going. They don't really say too much about my game. You know, they still try to improve like stuff like my footwork and stuff. Like they try to do stuff to improve, like, you know, in those areas and stuff like that. And just about defensive stuff, they just tell me like just different defensive stuff they want me to get better at. Well, get better at, and tell the team how to do it and stuff like that. So yeah, they're very encouraging as well too.
And then you're averaging 9 assists, so of course you're not the American ball hog.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest challenges that you've had, which is different from any season you've ever played, college, high school, or anything, is COVID. And like you were saying, a lot of the games have been canceled, or, you know, games that you have scheduled ahead, you're not sure if you're going to play or not. So what has been, you know, how have you molded into a leader, just with not playing as many games? How have you kind of stepped up and really just worked through this, just as a player and as a teammate?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So with COVID, I mean, how have you just developed off the court as a player and as a teammate to just kind of like helping people adjust and stay fresh just for when you guys do play games?
Yeah. So it's like our games, like we went on before this last game that we played, it was 4 weeks of us not playing any games. So, and then one of my teammates, unfortunately, she tested positive for COVID. So everybody had to get tested, and until everybody's results came back, we couldn't be in the gym. So it didn't take my results, but it took like most of the team, their results to come. Like it took a while. So I was only in the gym with like 2 or 3 teammates at a time. So when I was with those 2 or 3 teammates, like, you know, like I was just, same thing I told you before, like just trying to talk to them one-on-one, like about, you know, certain things that they could get better at. or certain things that I see and stuff like that. Like, and they'll be like, oh, I get it. Like they'll understand, but it's like, it was good to have that one-on-one time, like that one-on-one time with them. So then they like really understand. And then like when I say certain terms, because like when they call like screens and when you say shot and defense, it's all, obviously it's a different language. So like they're teaching me too. Like, so when we're in these sessions, like, you know, just with our coach, just like, you know, workouts, like they're teaching me different words to help them out, and I'm teaching them different words that I like, you know, say on the court, because it's hard when you're like really in the game, you focused. I'm not gonna blurt out a Portuguese word, like I'm blurting out a English word, especially, you know, when you're in the moment, when you're in the game. So they try to learn, and I try to learn too. So like we just both reciprocate each other's energy and stuff. So during that time that I was in the gym with maybe 2-3 teammates at a time, you know, I just really tried to talk to them and really tried to help them, you know, with their game and stuff like that. And when we didn't have practices, because it was a while like where we like practices like just kept getting canceled. When practices did get canceled, like I have to talk to them on WhatsApp. So I would talk to them on WhatsApp, and they're like, "What are you doing today? Like, are you going to the gym and stuff like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, you want to go?" Like, and stuff like that. Like, so we would go to the gym, not the basketball gym, the other gym. Like, we would go to that gym together, or like I would tell them like it's a park right next to me. I would tell them like, "Oh, I'm going to the park to run." They're like, "Oh, okay, I'll meet you there." Like stuff like that. Like, but it's just like I'm telling them I'm going to the park, but I want to see if they're gonna say like, "Oh, like, yeah, I want to come." But they normally do, because they see the work that I put in, and they see the results that come from it. So like, or like if I'll post on Instagram that I'm doing like a core workout, they be like, what's that? Like, and they try to ask me, you know, what I do. So I tell them what I do, and they be like, okay, I'm gonna try it, like stuff like that, you know, like. So it was a period of time that when practices kept getting canceled, and when we finally got back to practicing, everybody was so tired. Like I wasn't, because I was doing a lot of running and stuff, but everybody was so tired. So I'm like I told them like in a nice way, like I'm like, y'all, like we need to run, like we need to run so we're not as tired, because games is so like, oh, we might have it, we might not. Oh, 2 people tested positive for COVID. Oh, we don't got games, you know. But we always got to be prepared. Like we always got to be prepared. Like it was clear that, you know, they weren't, you know, like they might not have been prepared because games kept getting canceled. But, you know, like as a leader, I try to tell them, you know, just keep doing something. Just do something. Like it doesn't always have to be like, what I've learned is that you don't have to work, like always work hard, but as a pro, you work smarter than you work harder. Like, so if I have like a minor, I don't know, a minor soreness or something, like my back or my plantar fasciitis, whatever it is, I'm not going to go run a mile and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like that's not smart, because we might have a game or something like that. So I'll just be in here doing burpees or doing push-ups or doing a core workout. Like it's something. So I just always try to push them to just do something. Like just do something. Doesn't matter what it is. Just get better in some way. So,
and hopefully, I mean, with time, you guys will be able to play full seasons, and you know we could see a lot more of this 22-point average, Sianni, big guard Sianni.
Yeah.
But what is your next step right now? I mean, of course, you're playing right now, but aside from just playing here, what can we expect to see from you?
As far as not like after basketball?
Yes.
After basketball, I am up in the air about a few things. So I've been thinking about coaching a lot lately. I don't know where it came from, but it's in my head now. And I think I want to like really like, I think I would be able to use a lot of my connections and a lot of my connections and a lot of my resources to be able to get started in a career like that. Because it's all about who you know, learning that. It's all about who you know. So I think that I would definitely be able to get in the, you know, in the workforce of coaching, with a lot of the people I know and stuff like that, hopefully. And then a lot of sports broadcasting. Sports broadcasting has always been something that has been in the back of my mind as well. So sports broadcasting and coaching are the top two contenders right now. But I've actually been talking to my mom about going back to school. I have 2 degrees already, and I was like, once I'm done these 2 degrees, like I'm done. Like I don't want to, But I've actually, like, I don't know why, like a lot of time in this room just makes me think about a lot, and it makes me think a lot about the future and what I want to do after basketball. And I've noticed that I'm really, really good with things like sports, athletic training. I'm very good at stuff that has to do with anatomy and biology and stuff like that. And I really didn't notice it. But then I thought back to, like, a lot of my teammates and a lot of my friends, like when they would be studying and stuff, I would be reading their notes as if it was my test. You know what I'm saying? Like I've just always been interested in something like that. So I don't know if that's something that the angle that I might, take. But, if I did want to go back to school, it would be to become an athletic trainer. But that's just an idea. I'm just throwing it out there. That's just an idea. But the top 2 right now are sports broadcasting and coaching. Most definitely. If I could get, back at UCF, with a sports broadcasting job, that would be ideal. Definitely ideal. I definitely want to be back at that university doing something, pouring something back into that university, because I got a lot out of it and I just want to give so much back. And I just want to be around UCF sports, period. Like that's just, in my mind, that's just top university for sports, period. So, I just want to, I want to be back in that environment, in that community, just giving back and doing a job that I would love to do too. So,
There's nothing like the Knights family.
Yeah.
We'd love to see you back.
No, really, really. So, and I've always said as a kid that I wanted to live in Florida anyway. Like I've been at Philly my whole life. I mean, I've traveled so much, and obviously I'm still going to be traveling with, playing overseas. But when it's time to, put the basketball down, sad, whenever that time does come, I'm really thinking about living in Florida anyway. So it would be great if I can get, a job with UCF. That would be a dream.
Well, I'm excited for you. Go ahead and manifest it. You could be the next Candace Parker, Coach A, whatever you want to do. But the lesson I have for you, I know you have some of the biggest drip on the court, off the courts. Have you brought the drip to Portugal?
No. I did not bring the drip.
I was not expecting that one. I was hoping a yes. all the Jordans you have.
I won't even, you know what? I'm not going to say no. I bought the drip, but I haven't worn the drip. because when I first got here, when I first got down to Portugal, they only had 100 cases of COVID. Now it's spiked to like over 5,000. So when I first got here, the drip was out. The drip was around. Like the drip was around. But then, like with COVID, like I really haven't, like I've been sweatpants, hoodies, stuff like that. I mean, the drip is still there too. But my mom was so mad because I still packed a bunch of my Jordans. She was like, Sianni, what are you you're going out there to play basketball. Like, what do you need? I'm like, Mom, listen, I just in case, you never know. Like you never know. Like it's just some days like I don't even be having nothing to do besides practice, but I'll just like get dressed, put on some of my favorite Jordans and stuff like that. Like here go. Actually, one of my favorites right here.
Oh, here she go.
Listen, got the Concords ready. But yeah, I got quite a few pair here. But like I said, with the pandemic and everything, I just haven't been able to, like really, really. My birthday is coming up on Thursday, so I'm going to the mall on Tuesday. So I might pick up some drip to put on for my birthday. But yeah, so, I'm actually excited to get back home so I can just like get dressed again. Like I just feel like I've just been sweatpants and basketball uniforms. Like I want to get dressed again. So yeah.
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to your birthday fit and some more drip from you. Thank you so much for sitting down and talk with me, and best of luck to anything you do. Hopefully we'll see you back at UCF doing something.
Yes, you will. But thank you. I appreciate it so much. Anytime you need me to talk for your podcast or anything, shout out to your podcast, by the way. Anytime, like, you know, I'm always basketball talk. I'll talk all day. You know,
I got you.
Yeah, I'm just very blessed to be in this position. So, you know, I'm always happy to talk about it, always happy to share my story, you know, because I've always listened to people in my position when I was younger, and they inspired me. So I just always want to, you know, give back and inspire, you know, young girls that can possibly be in my position one day. So I love talking.
Of course, we'll be back when you have your 40-point game, because I feel like it's coming soon.
That's coming. It's coming.
Thank you so much, Sianni.
All right. Thank you.